Mariner Books and HarperAudio present The Best American Short Stories 2022, selected from U.S. and Canadian magazines by Andrew Sean Greer, with Heidi Pitlor, with an introduction by Andrew Sean Greer, read by Reynaldo Piniella, Sean K. Jain, Carolina Hoyos, Cherise Boothe, and Cindy Kay.
A note before we begin. For notes on the contributors, a list of other distinguished short stories, and more, be sure to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/The Best American Short Stories 2022. Forward. I get a lot of credit for discovering new writers, but I must share it with the hundreds of editors and staff of literary magazines who each year read thousands of submissions. These people are the true vanguard of publishing. At the very least, this series would not exist without them. And without them, countless great writers would never have been able to launch their careers. Stylus was the first to publish Zora Neale Hurston. In 1936, Manuscript brought out the debut story of Eudora Welty. Story was the first home to J.D. Salinger and Carson McCullers. In 1950, Folio published an unknown writer named Alice Munro. The Northwest Review, closed in 2019, debuted George Saunders in 1986. Kelly Link first published in Century in 1995, and 2008 saw the first fiction by Jesmyn Ward in a public space. The Threepenny Review can take credit for first printing a story by Imbolombu in 2015. Imagine the world of fiction without James Baldwin, whose first story was published in Commentary, or William Faulkner. Thank you, Mississippian. To submit a story to a journal, a writer need not live in New York City or have connections to the publishing world. A wealth of literary magazines signals a democratically healthy literary culture. Unfortunately, partly due to economic pressures in the face of the pandemic, certain American magazines have been or are in danger of being defunded and shuttered. In the best of times, running a literary journal is not considered a profitable venture. The University of Alaska closed a number of liberal arts programs, including the Alaska Quarterly Review, which is now being kept alive on a volunteer basis. Purdue placed a moratorium on admissions to their graduate English department. Its literary journal, the Sycamore Review, will no longer have graduate students to continue to manage and publish it. Bard College announced that it would close Conjunctions, the publisher of Sanjana Sathian's story in these pages, but after a swell of support for the magazine, the school changed course. Consider doing this series and literature as a whole a favor. If you read a story in these pages that you love, and if you can afford it, subscribe to the magazine that initially published this story. Chances are you'll like their other stories, and essays and poems and art. Writers and students of writing, I am talking to you first and foremost. The threat to magazines of defunding is real right now. These journals cannot exist on grants and emergency funds alone. If you want someone to publish you someday, please do what you can to help keep these journals running. On display in this volume of the Best American Short Stories are 20 emotionally and intellectually engaged writers. I found myself drawn to the basics this year. Ease of language, innovation, humor, truth, the ability to tell an interesting and important story. Often new writers are taught to explore what is at stake for their characters. This can be love, or even life, a sense of self, anything, really. As a reader, I want to feel that what I am reading matters, that the story knows something profound, goes somewhere worthwhile.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?